Have you ever, scrolled through tech news and felt that little bit of anxiety about AI, that widespread worry that it's coming for our jobs, especially if you're in programming?
No, absolutely. It's a really common feeling and honestly quite understandable. Things are moving so fast.
Yeah.
And the whole conversation, it often jumps straight to replacement, doesn't it? Particularly in fields like software engineering, which are just so, well, central to everything. It's a natural reaction, I think.
It really is.
Yeah.
That's the core of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which is exactly why today we wanted to do a deep dive into AI's actual impact on software engineering specifically. And we're drawing insights from a really interesting source. Google CEO Sundar Pichai's chat with Lex Fridman.
Yeah, that was a great conversation. And our mission here really is to look past that initial, fear factor. We want to explore how AI isn't just changing what programmers do, but really fundamentally how they do it.
And what new opportunities are popping up because of it.
Exactly. It's much more about, let's say, augmentation and expansion rather than just simple substitution.
Okay, so let's tackle the biggest question first, head on. Are programmers at Google actually losing their jobs because of AI? Because that's where a lot of the immediate worry is.
It's a fair question. And what's really revealing is Google's own internal data. Sundar Pichai mentioned that a pretty significant chunk, about 30% of Google's code now uses AI-generated suggestions.
30%, wow, that sounds like a lot.
It does.
But the key insight isn't just about how much code the AI is writing, is it? He focused on something else.
That's exactly right. Pichai really emphasized that the critical metric for them is something called engineering velocity.
Engineering velocity.
Yeah. The main point for Google isn't just lines of AI code, but how much faster their whole engineering team is moving across the entire company.
And the number he shared was pretty striking. He said Google estimates, a 10% increase in that overall velocity?
10%. And he stressed, for an organization with tens of thousands of engineers, that's a massive number. It's not trivial. It means a huge impact on their total output.
Right. A massive number.
And here's the kicker, the really interesting part. Despite that 10% productivity boost, Google is actually planning to hire more engineers next year.
More? Okay, that directly goes against the whole AI is taking our jobs narrative.
She does.
So if AI is making them so much more productive, why hire more people? What's the logic there?
Well, Pichai explained it pretty clearly. He said the opportunity space, basically what they can tackle, is just getting bigger. AI isn't just making the old stuff faster. It's opening doors to totally new projects, new kinds of innovation that maybe weren't even practical before.
That's a really powerful way to frame it. It shifts the perspective.
Yeah.
And it leads us nicely into this idea of AI as an enhancer, right? How it's changing the programmer's role itself. I mean, nobody really enjoys the tedious grunt work, do they?
No, that's pretty universal. And Pichai highlighted that AI is really good at taking over that kind of stuff in coding. The repetitive bits, the boilerplate.
The stuff that drains your energy.
Exactly. So the AI handles a lot of that heavy lifting.
Which then frees up the programmers for the more enjoyable parts, the creative aspects.
Precisely. Things like designing new systems, thinking about architecture, solving the really tricky problems, brainstorming with colleagues. Pichai even said it makes coding even more fun.
Makes it more fun. I like that.
Yeah, and his perspective is that AI essentially puts the creative power in more people's hands, which he thinks leads to more engineers doing more things. So it's not about replacing people, it's about empowering them, expanding what they can do.
He had that great analogy, too, about chess. You remember that?
Oh, yeah, the chess analogy. He said something like, more people are playing chess now than ever before.
Right. The implication being that these powerful AI tools, like chess engines, don't eliminate the human player. They actually broaden participation.
Yeah, they might even deepen the engagement with the game itself.
And Lex Fridman, who actually codes himself,
Yep.
he chimed in with his own experience.
He said he finds himself, I think the number was 5x more productive when he uses AI for programming.
5 times.
Even with the need to edit and guide the AI.
Yeah, even factoring that in.
Right.
Which really underscores the potential efficiency gain.
So the overall vision seems to be engineers become better programmers. They can create more value-added things.
Right, which leads to more satisfaction in their jobs. Pichai suggested maybe, overall, they could become like 2x more productive. It feels like a pretty significant shift.
A remarkable shift, yeah, towards focusing on the higher-level creative work.
Definitely, it's a compelling picture. But it's not just about individual productivity, right? AI is also starting to transform Google's code base itself.
Yeah.
Which is huge.
I can only imagine. How does AI even begin to make Google's code base better? Keeping something that massive, standardized, and easy to navigate must be an enormous challenge. It absolutely is. Pichai explained that AI can help make the code base more standardized and easier for people to move about.
Okay, so less time just trying to figure out where you are or what someone else wrote.
Exactly. Less friction, more building.
And what I found really fascinating was this idea that as the AI helps navigate the code, it also gets better at understanding the entire code base. It's like this feedback loop.
It is. It's almost like a symbiotic learning process. The more the AI assists, the deeper its own understanding of the system becomes.
And that deeper understanding is apparently key for what's coming next. Pichai called it the huge unlock of agentic capabilities.
Yes, agentic capabilities. He sees that as the next really big wave in how AI evolves in this space.
Agentic capabilities. Okay, what does that actually look like for a programmer? Can you give an example?
Sure. Think about tools like Cursor, which Lex Fridman mentioned he uses with models like Gemini. These tools can be made aware of the entire code base. That enables some really powerful interactions.
Like what?
Well, you could ask it complex questions about how different parts of the code interact. Or even better, you could tell it to handle big tasks. Things like migrating a whole section to a new framework or refactoring really old, messy code bases.
Wow. Refactoring old code. That's notoriously difficult and time-consuming. That would be huge.
It really would be. And, Pichai threw in that playful long-term prediction, too.
Oh, yeah.
He joked, everything will be written in JavaScript and run in Chrome.
Huh. A little nod to the enduring power of the web stack.
Exactly. Just hinting at this future of really seamless, integrated development environments, all powered by AI.
Okay, so this brings us to something else Google is famous for. Those legendary, really tough coding interviews.
Ah, yes, the whiteboard interview. A rite of passage for many.
How do you even test someone's core programming skills in this AI era, when they might be used to having AI help generate code snippets or boilerplate?
It's a great question, and Pichai addressed it. He was clear that Google will still have at least one round of in-person interviews.
Okay, so the fundamentals still matter.
Absolutely. They want to make sure that core understanding the fundamentals are there. You can't just rely on the tool without knowing what's going on underneath.
But it sounds like the focus is definitely shifting, or at least broadening.
That's the key takeaway. He really stressed that using AI tools effectively to generate better code is now seen as an equally important skill.
So it's not cheating, it's an asset.
Exactly. From Google's perspective, if you can leverage these tools to be more productive, solve problems faster, create higher quality code, that's a skill they value. That's an asset.
Interesting. So it's evolving from just, can you solve this puzzle alone, to how effectively can you use all the available resources, including AI, to build the best solution?
Precisely. And Pichai's overall feeling about this whole transformation in software engineering, he summed it up as a massive positive.
A massive positive. That's quite an endorsement.
It really is. A strong signal from the top of one of the world's biggest tech companies, pushing back against the fear and focusing on enablement and expansion.
So wrapping this up, what does all this mean for you listening right now? We've heard how Google's CEO sees AI, not as this scary replacement for programmers, but as this really powerful tool. Something for augmentation, for expansion, maybe even for finding more satisfaction in the work. It's about doing more, doing it better, finding those new creative avenues.
Yeah, and this whole deep dive into software engineering, it kind of offers a template, maybe. It raises a really important question for you to think about. How might AI transform your specific field, your skill set?
Right. What's the grunt work in your day-to-day?
Yeah.
The stuff that could potentially be handed off to an AI.
And if that happened, what would it free you up to do? More creative thinking, more problem solving, more high-value activities.
Exactly. What new opportunities could that unlock? Or what deeper satisfaction might you find in your work? Definitely something to think about as you navigate your own path in this, well, incredibly exciting AI-powered world we're heading into.